rated shows ever.
It was.
All the live viewers, all the comments and engagement, almost 1,000 views on the video.
Yep.
And it was just, wow. It was such an inspiring interview to have them here. And
it was.
Megan is such a warrior in everything that she's faced. And
that family too, just the way they've come together and supported each other and become best friends and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it was just unbelievable just being around them.
Yeah, and having
awesome.
Their mom Denise here in studio is just a really inspiring story from within the cystic fibrosis community. And that's a big part of how this show was born, right? So thank you to our supporting sponsors, and the organization that brings you epic love is the Piper's Angels Foundation, which our mission is to support and improve the lives of families and people in the cystic fibrosis community. If you want to learn more about who we are, what we do, and why we do it, please check out pipersangels.org, where you can learn more about our programs and how we impact the CF community, because that's what we're all about. And we want to transcend the compassion and love that we get to share here as a part of the Piper's Angels community and Crossing for a Cure community here locally, and help share those inspiring stories beyond the boundaries of our own community.
Yes.
And on that note, with the Crossing for a Cure, welcome to the countdown to the Crossing for a Cure.
Where are we at?
Wow. We are in full throttle mode. It's like, I feel like we're sitting on the platform with the space shuttle, and the boosters and the fuel tanks are ignited and blast off has already begun, but it hasn't really like gotten very high off the platform yet. It's just like, it's in that moment right before it goes from like 0 to 1,000 miles an hour. It's like, you know, just
the engines are on.
It's on. It's like the thrusters are going, and it's getting off the ground, but it's just so massive. There's so much energy going into this. So as of today, we have 91 registered paddlers.
Wow.
And that's not including the folks who are on a 2-person relay team or a 4-person relay team or an OC6 team.
Teams in general?
This is just the registered paddlers. So that's not including all the unregistered teammates.
Wow.
Which is probably closer to like 100 and who knows?
Wow.
125 million.
I'm so excited.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
So many people are going to be paddling across the ocean. Tiger sharks and rainbows and water spouts, oh my.
Look out for us.
Woo.
Coming through.
Team Epic Love.
Yeah.
Blair will be paddling.
I will be.
1 stroke at a time, baby. That's it.
Yep.
1 stroke
That's
at a time.
all I can do. So
You're not double stroking?
Hoping that works out.
There's no double stroking.
Yeah, I will not be one of those people laying on my board front paddling. I'm good on that.
Yeah, well, any way you can get across.
Okay.
So
I'm getting across. Don't you worry.
If you gotta, like, you know, put a little paddle in the water and, you know, do one of these, or you gotta throw up a kite with a you know, an air balloon that pulls you in the right, you know.
I'm hoping I'm paddling across the whole thing.
You can lasso a dolphin and ride it across. Look, there's a lot of options for getting across the ocean. I'm just saying. We also have 14 registered boat captains. Oh my goodness.
Wow. And how many do we need? 50?
Well, we don't need 50, but I think we're going to have 50. I mean, I you know, with all the teams registered and all the competitive athletes coming on board, I found out that Seychelles, our paddle coach for the last couple of years, who's been so instrumental in helping people develop their conditioning and strength and training regimen leading up to the crossing. She is not only coming back as a coach again, and we'll be posting the tips if you've seen them on the Instagram page, like coaching tips by Seychelles, but she is actually going to be paddling this year.
Oh, wow.
She's a world record holder.
Awesome.
Yes, Seychelles is coming through.
That's awesome.
So we'll be on the beach in Bimini with Seychelles, with the ultimate paddle coach, and we'll be sharing more of her awesome training techniques and tips. And you can actually join her training program, which is going to be launched on February 25th. So you can opt in to a very informational and practical, you know, functional training and knowledge-based curriculum and understanding. So you really could go from wherever you are in your paddling as whether you're a beginner or intermediate or advanced, she's going to help you improve. And I highly recommend being a part of that. And maybe it's something that you could opt into and you could share with the listeners and share kind of some of your journey along the way as she helps train you and prepare you.
Yeah, that would be great, actually.
I mean, I opted in last year, and I paddle a lot, but I'm not an expert, but I'm confident and comfortable. But I learned so much from her clinics, and she's going to be having 2 clinics down here in South Florida where people can attend in person, and we'll be announcing those dates soon as well. So that's a big update with the countdown to the crossing. And the total fundraising is at 25% of the goal.
Wow.
A quarter. We're at $126,745.
And it's February 6th.
Boom. And 2 years ago this time, our finale fundraising goal, or what we reached by the end, was $133,000. And it's early February. I mean, that's the growth. It's amazing.
So I got on and I looked at Team Shooting Stars, which is our local sheriff's department, and looked at their fundraising, and they're at $80,000.
Unbelievable.
I mean, unbelievable. And I don't know if you took a look at, so they offered a free day off to anybody at the sheriff's office that donated $100, which is crazy. That's crazy. And like everybody on there is, I mean, it's just been so supportive. So if you look at on there,
it's amazing really how that concept of, rallying a community.
Yeah.
I think this idea of rallying, we were talking about this because we're working on a full-length feature film documentary this year, right? So building on the last 2 years of the video content and the storytelling, we're working on a full-length documentary to really showcase and tell the story of going from a place of, a diagnosis in a heartbreaking situation, and looking at how our family and our community has been able to rally that and bring about, this transformation of that suffering into success, and what that looks like and what that means to a community. And it boils down to the rally factor. Right now, if you need to rally for an event, for a cause, for a movement, for a company, for a film, if you're going to rally, what does that really look like? What are the mechanics of rallying, of bringing people together, of empowering them, of lifting up people's hearts, of opening their minds? Like what makes that work? And that's going to be some of what we look at in the documentary is why is this working? And how is this epic love affecting ourselves, Piper, the CF community, and all of the people around us?
I'm so glad you guys are going to take that route in the documentary and
you
talk
like
about
that?
I love that because, I mean, it's serious what goes on here once you get involved in something like this. And I mean, and it's not at all specific to Piper's Angels, but just in my experience with coming in with this and the people that are attracted to this energy that comes from this rallying and from this support, it's unbelievable, and it just continues to grow. And that's why, like you just said, $133,000 2 years ago, we're already past that 2 years later,
right?
And we're not even, we have 5 months until the event. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. So it's just that positive energy is going to create growth in that rally. And so I'm so glad you guys are going to talk about that.
Well,
awesome.
And I'm really glad that you are supportive of that, because it's a big risk. I mean, I don't know if it's a risk as much as it is. It's a big commitment. It's a little scary because we're going to be creating a Kickstarter to help fundraise for the film specifically, because obviously producing a full-length feature film, there's going to be more costs involved, more time with Tallymark Productions and her editing and her beautiful cinematography and directing. But we've got some really big players and really awesome things coming to the table, that are really making it feels like the right time. Yeah,
it takes it one step deeper too whenever you start to talk about that. And I mean, that's bigger than the event or the foundation itself. I mean, that's something anyone can use in their life for anything, I think that's great. I love that route.
Yeah.
I can't say enough about it. So I'm a little bit lost for words, but I think that's awesome.
Well, we're going to definitely get a cameo of you, the Epic Love team paddling across. So when you're like, hey, check me out on Netflix or something.
Okay.
Amazon, Hulu me, baby.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
It's going to be awesome.
Good.
And a shout out to our supporting sponsors of the Epic Love Radio show and to the Crossing for a Cure and Piper's Angels Foundation, ABC Financial. Thank you so much for your support and rallying your community and company around the Crossing for a Cure. Very excited to have ABC Financial on board. To Amadi from Dixie Vodka, Endless Summer Rum, Tal Stoke. He's really bringing, a host of support through his brands, and we're just exceptionally, exceedingly excited about that. And there's one other one I have a note here I wanted to share. The Health Career Institute is a local college for nursing, fire, EMT, and they are on board as a sponsor as well. And they're going to be doing our health and wellness tent at the beach. So when, Blair, you paddle across the ocean,
or I'm riding my dolphin,
and you are riding your dolphin into the beach, and you hit the beach, you will have a health and wellness tent provided by Health Career Institute to go get hydrated, to go get checked on, to make sure that you're being taken really good care of.
Well, I'm going to need it, so I do appreciate it.
Everybody's going to need it. And depending on how hot it is that day.
I don't know. You look pretty good last year. I'm not going to lie. You stepped off all gracefully, ready to go. I mean, you really didn't look like you would just paddle across the ocean.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie.
I will say that last year was the easiest year I've ever had. And that's because the ocean was so welcoming.
Maybe that's what I was seeing then, is you've been through so many struggling times crossing the ocean that you were like, relief. I
mean, it still is incredibly physically painful, and the mental fatigue is extreme. If you don't want to kill everybody who's around you or on the boat, by the time you get to the end, then you're amazing. But the conditions of the ocean, because you think about this. If the ocean is super calm and flat, then everybody has it easy. The boat, the crew, the captains, the paddlers. It's a really long way to paddle, but it makes it so much more achievable for everybody, whether you're a beginner to paddling or you're intermediate or advanced. If that ocean and that wind turns up 10%, that 10% is coming out of you. If it turns up 30%, and the ocean's just a little choppy, like a 1 to 2 foot, but moving a little more, that's coming out of you. If it's bigger than that, if it's 2 to 3 foot or 4 foot, it just changes the dynamic of everything so much that it really becomes more of a battle, because you might not win. Right? It may overcome you. And there's not a whole lot you can do about being in the middle of the ocean and being done, out of gas, and the thing is, you can't leave the ocean. It has you.
Right.
For the rest of the trip across. Whether you keep paddling or you get in that boat, it's still got you.
You're still in the ocean.
You're still in the bosom of Mother Ocean. Anyways,
and it might not be warm and comfortable.
And it may not be the most comfy spot. So those are the updates with the Crossing for a Cure. Hey, let's give a shout out to everybody out there, Facebook land. What's up?
Hello.
Hey, welcome to the Epic Love Radio Show.
Hi, Leanne.
Thank you to David, Allen, and Michelle, and Heidi, and Denise, and Leanne, and everybody for tuning in. We love you so much. Thank you for joining the show. And if you have any questions or you have any comments, we always love to engage, because it's fun sitting here in the studio with Dee and with Blair and myself, but we're really kind of just talking to ourselves.
We really
at
are.
the moment.
And it's very, very empty in the studio today. So we're really, Travis and I are just talking to each other.
Yeah.
Usually we've got a few people here, so it's a little lonely and empty, but that's okay.
There's a little bit of an echo. It's like, hello. Epic Love. I like that, the Epic Love echo.
Yeah.
It's resonating.
It is. So one more thing we need to talk about as far as sponsors go. So we are the official media partner of the Mind Body Expo, and the grand event is coming up on March 23rd at Old School Square in Del Rey. And we will be there, Travis and I.
Woo!
And that will be the debut of our Epic Love tent. Woo!
We're gonna pop that tent.
Yeah. Anyways, I was hoping for more excitement. But anyways, yes, it's going to be the debut of our Epic Love tent.
Woo!
All right, there we go. There it is. So we're excited about that. Come say hi to us. Come say hello. The Mind Body Expo is going to be featuring different learning experiences around sustainability, health, and wellness for the whole family to enjoy. So come say hello. And I shared the link on the Epic Love Radio Show Facebook page if you'd like to purchase tickets.
Look, if you don't want health and wellness in your life, you need to step up.
Okay, moving on. So, what to say to that? Anyway. So
Just putting it out there, all right?
So I think we have a.
You better epic love yourself right about now. You feeling down? You feel like you need some love?
I feel like
Put
that Ricky Bobby, you know, at that one part. If you don't shoot big red, that would shoot right there.
And we promise not to yell at you if you come to our tent at the Mind Body Expo.
We're going to do a little exercise right now. All right, for everybody listening and watching, we want you to do something with us. We're going to give ourselves epic love hugs. Okay? Just right here. That's it, Blair. Yes. See, that's good. That's, feel the love. Exercise over. Okay. Well, that was good. I felt good about that. I feel I needed that.
I can tell you did. You're enjoying that. So anyways, so we have, I was really glad too that you mentioned about the documentary, how you guys are going to kind of talk about some behind the scenes things that go into the crossing itself. And, you know, just that rallying that comes from coming together as a community and putting a mission out there and accomplishing it, because I feel like that's what our guest has done today.
For sure.
Yeah.
Talk
Super
about,
awesome.
yeah. You know, it's interesting. I read a quote recently that said, everyone has depth, but not everyone dares to dive deep.
I don't know why I cannot take you seriously today. I apologize.
No, I'm serious.
I'm
I
really
really
trying,
like
but
that.
you're really being goofy today, so I'm really
I
having a
really
hard
like
time.
that quote, though.
It was really good. That's a great quote.
It's a good example of somebody who has stepped up and done just that.
She really is. It's unbelievable. So she is, and we're going to let her talk more about it and dive deep with her, but she is the founder and artistic director of the Tacoma Refugee Choir, which has welcomed over 350 people from over 40 countries in its first 2 years. It was founded in 2016. And she has really created it as kind of a home for people that have either moved to this country by choice or were forced to because of war or some other horrible reason, and created a community for them in a safe space where they can come and meet people, be together, and sing, which music is the most beautiful form of loving each other ever, in my opinion. So
It definitely is a thread that connects us all.
yes, definitely. So we cannot wait to talk with her. She should be calling in any minute now. And I do. Our sound person's asking me a question. I do, D. Indeed.
You, Judy?
I do, D. D.
Well, why? Oh, okay. I spoke too soon. Hold on. Your caller is calling.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect timing. She's on the line.
Woo! Oh, yeah, I did
That was fun little music.
Yeah.
Hello, Erin.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, we're so great. Can you hear us okay?
I can.
Yay!
Yay. I'm so delighted to be on this call with you today.
We are so delighted to have you on this call today.
Well, thank you.
We
The feelings are mutual.
good.
Welcome, Erin.
All the way from Washington, correct?
Yes.
That's where you are? Okay, good. Good stuff. Awesome. So we are so excited to have you because we were just talking about something that just relates so much to what you have done and what you have accomplished. And you're just such a perfect fit for this show and your story and everything that you are about. So thank you again for being here.
You're very welcome.
All right. So I'm just going to let you just kind of take it away a little bit, Erin. So we have already told everyone your name, Erin Guinup. I'm pronouncing your last name right, correct?
Guinup.
Guinup. See, I always
Yep. It's always mispronounced. 6 letters, but it's very difficult it's not logical. But that's how it's pronounced.
It's a unique last name. What's the historical origin of that?
It's Welsh.
Okay.
And they changed the spelling. So it would have made more sense if they had not changed the spelling. But one of those things, you just roll with it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. I understand, because my last name is Suit, S-U-I-T, like the one you wear. And I have to say that all the time to people on the phone because they say sweet or suet, weird things, and I'm like, or if I say Travis Suit, they say, what is it? And I'm like, suit, like the one you wear.
I love it. I love it.
You would think that would be a simple one.
You would think.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Erin, again, so happy to have you on the show. So you are the founder and artistic director of the Tacoma Refugee Choir, which is just such an awesome initiative. Will you just please explain to us just kind of your background before you got started with the choir?
Exactly. So I've been a musician my entire life. I have performed as an opera singer and have taught voice lessons. And I love helping people find their voice. And about 2.5 years ago, I was looking for my next opportunity, and I was at a church broadcast that was talking about refugees, and I was so moved by the plight of people who were suffering so much in Europe. And I wanted to do something about that, but I realized I don't have the network to do anything in Europe, but I can do something for the refugees that are resettled in my community. So I thought, well, we'll just get some refugees together, we'll sing together. And then I realized, I don't know a single refugee. Where do you find refugees? It's not like you go to the store and say, hey, come show up. So, so I realized my community was not diverse enough and that I needed to do a better job of reaching outside myself. And so we started a collaboration with the Tacoma Community House, and it was a 6-week pilot project. And at the end of that 6 weeks, everyone felt so closely knit together. 6 weeks for an hour and a half. And all of a sudden there's this family. People are calling each other family. And I thought, oh, okay, there's something special in this formula. And so we continued on, and it's taken off like wildfire.
And what was happening at those when you were getting together, and what kind of give us the rundown of what that looked like?
Yeah, well, the refugee choir consists of refugees, immigrants, and community members. So it's intended to be an integrative program to help provide a support network for the refugees in our community and help people like me who didn't know a single refugee in our community to get to know them and find a way to be more welcoming and kind for the people who have gone through so much in our community.
Awesome. So was there any particular situation that kind of made you recognize this need in your community?
Well, I mean, as I said, I was so moved by those videos coming out of Europe and thought, gosh, I wish I could do something there. But I'm just an ordinary person in a lot of ways. I have a family and I'm here in Tacoma, Washington. And so I looked for a way that I could make a difference here using the resources I have. And initially I thought maybe I'll go tutor English or something like that. And then I realized, duh, I'm a musician. I should use my talents in a way that helps people. And I figured, music's an international language. So hopefully they'll want to sing with us too.
Yeah, definitely.
And what was your background in music that led you up until that point in time where you felt like that was a personal asset of yours to leverage for this platform and initiative?
Yeah, well, I'd sung and I've been teaching voice. I do a lot of projects at my church to lead music programs. So I was experienced in bringing people together, and it's each of these little experiences that give you more courage to step outside your comfort zone. But when we started this, it felt really outside my comfort zone, even though I had experience working with groups of people. And I was a little terrified. And there was definitely moments where I thought, what the heck am I doing? I don't have the expertise to do this, but when you put yourself in that comfort zone, or put yourself in the growth zone, in that place of discomfort, that's when magic can really happen. And it's been completely transformative for the way I see my work and the way that I see myself in relation to people in my community.
Yeah, I'm sure once you saw these people connecting over those 6 weeks, it just was kind of like everything clicked and you were like, okay, like this is what's supposed to happen. This is good what I'm doing, kind of all the scariness not goes away completely, but I'm sure that you started to feel some satisfaction after that point.
Oh yeah, I felt so grateful. I mean, there was a young man from Kurdistan who had no family here. He and his family of 4 came to the U.S. They had helped as a translator during the war in Iraq. So they're very fervent Americans and very proud to be American, but they don't know anyone here. Mm. And within weeks, he was calling me his sister. And he was so grateful to have this connection because he had lost so much when they had come.
Wow.
So hungry for family connections, so hungry to feel like they are not only safe, because America provides this wonderful safety for those who are able to come here, but there's a need to feel accepted and into a community and loved, and that's something that we can provide.
Yeah, absolutely. And that it's just, and like you've already said, music is just such a great way to do that. Everyone speaks it, everyone feels it. It's a great reason to come together, and that's just beautiful. And I can't imagine moving here and not knowing anybody. I mean, that would be the first need that I would want satisfied. So the fact that you're giving that option to these people is just fantastic. So you guys, how many people do you have in the choir currently?
So the choir has a lot of there's a lot of itinerant people that come through our choirs. As a refugee, you might come here and then you might move somewhere else. So we have a lot of in and out, but over our 2 years, we've welcomed over 350 people from 40 countries. And on an average Tuesday night, we'll get between 30 and 50 people out to a rehearsal. And we almost every single week, we have new people who come in our door. And it doesn't matter if they come every week because they'll still have valuable experiences. There's a woman from the Democratic Republic of Congo, very limited English, and she looked absolutely terrified when she walked through the door with her family. There were like 5 of them that came in that night. And by the end, we had been doing some dancing and laughing. She said through her very limited English, "This was my best day in America."
Oh. Wow.
Best day in America was just a simple rehearsal. And that for me, because I go to rehearsals multiple times per week, it hadn't occurred to me how important it was, how amazing it is to feel that sense of camaraderie and to create together, and how valuable that is. We haven't seen her again, and I wish we would see her again, but the fact that for that moment she felt like she belonged here and that life was not so terrifying in America, that's everything. It's everything.
Yeah, that's amazing to help and empower them to, even if it's that one time, to create such a positive memory and anchor that positive energy and love to the experience in their community.
Exactly.
And you have an open door policy with the choir, right? You don't have to audition or anything. Come and go as you please.
Exactly, because I believe that everyone has a voice that can sing. And so often we tell people that they have to have a great performing voice to be able to use that voice. And I think it has vast ramifications for our society. People think that they don't have a strong enough speaking voice, so they can't advocate in our politics, or they can't do any acts of service because I'm just me. But the truth of the matter is we all have something of value to offer. And the beautiful thing is that the more you use it, the better you get. So we have this non-auditioned open door policy choir, but they sound a lot better than they did when we got started. They actually sound like a cohesive choir.
Right.
And you would think that that I would have to audition people to get that kind of quality, but no, it's when people use their voice and feel empowered to be their best selves, and they're having a great time doing it, you start singing really good.
Well, I watched you guys, a few of your YouTube videos actually, and you guys do sound good. You guys sound great. And I think it was Everyone Can Love Someone, where that young man was singing. I mean, he's good. He has some great energy, and the energy coming up from the choir behind him. I mean, that was probably my favorite one.
He's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, his story is incredible, and he's a prime example. We have multiple people like this in the choir, but it has restored my faith that when you give someone a chance, they can shine. He is a star, and he's fighting to make things work here in America. He's lost so much, but he's also got such a positive attitude and gives so much love to other people. It's incredible. And I feel like we've had that experience time and time and time again.
Wow, and what a comforting feeling for people too, like you said, for that woman that just showed up for one rehearsal, that she could come back there if she wanted to, if she was in the area, or just to know that you guys are doing that every, Tuesday night. I mean, just that's got to be awesome, comforting feeling for someone.
It is. There's a student who hadn't been able to come because a lot of the people we work with are not only new to the country, trying to take ESL classes and extra things, and maybe going to school to retrain in job skills. Because if you were a doctor in Libya, for example, you can't practice here in the US without extensive recertification. And so you have people who are maybe very skilled learning completely new skill sets. And so time demands are very extensive. And one woman who isn't able to join us very often, but when she comes, she's like, oh, this gives me such hope. And she says she thinks of us every Tuesday night, and it makes her smile. She knows that people are fighting for people like her, and it has given her a lot of courage to press forward in her own dreams.
Wow. It's really incredible. And I want to read a quote that we have here. We have a few of them at the bottom of our page here on our notes. It says, "We believe that it's hard not to love people when we sing together, and that all can use their voice to make the world better."
Yes.
That's beautiful. I
put that on here because I felt like it related so much to what we're doing with this radio show podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We are sponsored, and Travis is the founder and father of Piper, with Piper's Angels Foundation for Cystic Fibrosis. And I think when Travis first started this show, he saw that we needed to use our voices for not only to spread awareness of cystic fibrosis, but to also connect with other people that are doing good in this world, such as yourself. So your voice is a powerful thing, whether you're singing or whether you're speaking like we are on this show. There's a lot of good that can come from it. So I like that quote a lot.
Thank you. It's fun because we wrote a song, Everyone Has a Song, and I wrote the rap. Me, who has never rapped a day in my life,
watched that one too. The rap was good.
Can you rap it for us right now?
Not putting that on the air. But I learned, rapping is just like singing, just more of a monotone kind of thing, and with a lot of swagger, which I do not have. But that writing that line, it's hard not to love people when you sing together. I've come to really believe that when we give to other people, when we open ourselves up vulnerably to be present with other people, magic happens. For me, that's singing. And for you, it's this podcast. And I think anyone who is listening to this show has really special gifts, and that might be hidden, and just needs to have the courage to say, I'm not going to let this sit anymore. There are people who need my unique gift. And when we use that, it can diffuse so much of the divisiveness and hatred in our country right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've got another quote on here actually from you, and it's, if we want to stop hatred, we can't respond with more hatred, but with love, because love changes people, and people change the world.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Man, that's good stuff.
It really is.
I don't know if you've written a book or you have a book, but
she has, I think.
What is?
Well, I have books coming out this year, but they're actually not on this topic. So they're past projects. I have a book about So You Want to Sing Music by Women that I'm a contributing author for, and then another book coming out later this year. I have a chapter about the refugee choir, but yes, a book is in the plans at some point.
The only reason I brought that up is because I'm a big like title buff. Like I really like names, like things that really strike people and strike a chord. And I was just thinking the name of a future book for you could definitely just be Best Day in America.
Oh, I love that.
Boom,
that's a great
right?
idea.
And it just because in 4 words, in one statement by that family, I mean that sums up like. Talk about the welcoming committee to the United States of America and what our country should represent, right? The flag and freedom and liberty, what that should represent. Best day in America. Like, man, you made it happen. You know, that's so cool.
Are you aware of any other choirs like this that are doing something?
No other refugee choirs in the United States that I am aware of.
Wow.
There's one in Canada and there's a couple in Europe, but it's interesting because I do think there's a lot of challenges because people do move in and out, and you can't approach it the same way as I would another choir. I've had to learn a completely different style of teaching. I don't use sheet music because I realize sheet music creates a power dynamic, and it keeps people from being able to be expressive. So and we tend to write our own music. So we're writing a lot of our own songs that express the exact message we want to share, which is hope, acceptance, and love. Those are things that everyone can benefit from. To answer your earlier thought, though, is this idea that everyone can use that voice. I mean, it doesn't matter where people are at, or where you think politically, even on this topic about refugees. I mean, when we started on this idea, I didn't know refugees was a political issue, frankly. I was a little oblivious because I just thought refugees were people who needed help and that we should help them feel safe.
Right.
I didn't understand any of the political ramifications of that when we got started. But that said, we have people from both sides of the political spectrum who've supported us because this is not about politics. This is about helping people feel safe, accepted, and loved. That's pretty universal, no matter what end of the spectrum you are on. And the idea that that people in our community don't feel safe is heartbreaking to me. That people feel like we had a choir member that said even when she was before she was able to come to the U.S., trafficked and shot at and kidnapped and like all sorts of really horrendous stuff that I can't even imagine going through. And she said life in America in many ways is harder than that because you think you're safe and then you don't feel safe.
Wow. Yeah.
Because you think you're past all the guns and the sex trafficking and stuff, and yet there's a lot of negative messaging. And so that's where I feel like our work is so powerful in contradicting that message that is coming across. Is it doesn't matter where you're from, we all need love. It doesn't matter what the circumstances. Everyone needs to feel loved. That's fundamental.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think there should be something like this in every community, to be honest with you.
I agree. I would love to see this take off, and because I know for me, my life has been changed by this choir. The people I've met are so inspiring to me. I see the woman I was just talking about has taken that hardship and thrown it into creating her own business. She's blessing other people's lives. Multiple people in our choir are doing their own ministries and serving other people. And even some of our community members that have been in this country for generations have seen how this choir has empowered them to say, the community I live in, it's my choice. I don't have to listen to all that negative messaging. I get to choose how I treat other people. No one gets to tell me that this community is not safe. I choose that because of the way I treat other people.
So if somebody was, let's say, listening to the show and heard your story and wanted to help you or the Tacoma Refugee Choir, how would they do that?
So you can go to our website, refugeechoir.org, and you can donate to the choir through our portal there. We also have a fundraiser coming up on March 23rd. So if someone wants to sponsor that event or even attend, you can purchase tickets for that event. It's in Tacoma, Washington. And we just love sharing this. So if someone's listening to this and says, I want to do something like this, then I give you full reign. Go and do something. Reach out to someone. Another favorite story of mine is one of our choir members, again, whose family has been in this country for generations, was in a grocery store, and she saw a Muslim woman with her 4 kids, and the kids were acting up a little bit. And then she was about to turn around, and then she said, wait, if I were at choir practice, I would go reach out to them right now. And so she turned around and went down to the kids level and just talked to the kids and helped them, gave the mother a moment to gather things together and be able to continue her shopping journey. And it's such a small little thing, right? To help settle a child down so that a mother can shop without chaos. But that simple act is how our communities thrive.
Right.
And it's no small act to that mother. Anyone who's been a mother with kids misbehaving in the grocery store knows that that's everything. And she realized that she would have normally turned away, and making the choice to instead reach out was a very important moment for her.
I think it's important for people to realize too, once you get involved in something like this that is so filled with love and moving and touching, it really has a ripple effect on the rest of your life. Like you said, maybe rewind back a little bit of time, she wouldn't have stopped and done that for somebody. But since she's been around these people and been shared love with them and felt safe and felt that sense of family and wanting to help people, she thought about it differently. And she said, hey, if I was with my choir people right now, I'd stop and help. So I'm going to stop and help this person too. And it really does. It has that ripple effect on you when you get involved in something like this and you're all aligned and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. It's kind of like those people I always used to laugh at, people that go to church and then they get out of church and they honk and flick somebody off. It's just, that's not how it works. You go to church and you're a good person all the time, not just for that hour that you're sitting there.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
I was just going to ask you, the fundraiser you have on March 23rd, what is the fundraiser?
So it's our first big event where we'll have food, the choir will sing, and one of our choir members who's learned to sew in Kenya, she's a refugee from the Democratic Republic of Congo, is going to be doing a fashion show. Oh. And she's going to be talking about how the choir has given her the courage to contribute even more in the community.
Well, we would love to. I'd love to find a way. I'm not sure what type of articles she's sewing and that kind of thing, but we would love to find a way to from Epic Love's community here in South Florida and beyond, find a way to support you guys in supporting that event or her.
Oh, that would be wonderful. In fact, right now I'm wearing a jacket made by her, and I wish you could see it because it is epic. I'm obsessed with this jacket, and I just want to wear it all the time because she's incredible. It's amazing that she would go through so much and learn to sew after going through so much, and then have the courage to say, okay, this is how I'm going to live in America. I'm going to sew. And she is incredible person. She's so inspiring to me, and she doesn't let me get away with things too, which is good. She's one of those good accountability people. Erin, you need to keep doing this. You need to do this. You need to do this. This is a responsibility you have in this role, and I am so grateful for that.
Nice. Well, take a picture of, do a selfie and send it to us, or so we can see the jacket.
Yeah,
and,
so we can post it.
If there's a place, if you could post maybe some of the articles that are for sale for donation or contribution, we'd love to share it and maybe help get you guys some additional fundraising for the event?
Yeah, you shared the fundraising link with me, Erin, so I'll be sure and post that on our Facebook. And it's called the Everyone Can Love Someone event.
Exactly. So it's inspired by that song that we just love. We sing that song every single rehearsal because it is such a feel-good song. Sad stories can be rewritten where fear ends and hope begins. Everyone can love someone, and everyone needs love. It doesn't matter where you're from. We all need love.
Well, believe it or not, we are landing the plane here with the show. We've got a couple minutes left, but it has been such an honor to have you on the show with us and sharing your epic love story and your inspiring story of action through love and how you're promoting the positive. I would say you're one of the best examples we've ever had on the show of rallying a community and representing what we love about the world.
Yes.
That's so kind of you to say. Thank you. I will say it's not because of me. It's because of this community that has rallied together. It's when you have a community that comes together, that's when magic happens.
Yeah, well, you have definitely been a key to open that door for your community, and that's really powerful. So thank you for all the good that you're bringing into the world, and thank you for being a part of the show. We'd love to have you back sometime in the future, and share more of that amazing love.
Yeah, and you've got 2 new cheerleaders and fans now, so
Woo!
it comes package deal with being on the show. So.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much for having me and giving us this opportunity to share something that truly has changed my life. I shared that it was the best day in America for that woman, but it's really been one of the best experiences of my life to love these people.
Yeah, absolutely. I can tell. It shows when you watch the videos. I'm going to post some of your YouTube videos too. It really shows in your YouTube videos as well, just how dedicated and how just your energy that comes from, directing everybody. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
No problem at all.
Well,
All
good
right,
luck
guys.
with the event, and thank you again.
Yeah.
Thank you again. Have a great night.
All right, you too.
Well,
Unbelievable.
man,
I
that
can't
was
believe that's the only
unbelievable.
one in America. There needs to be
Erin-
more people doing this.
Yeah, seriously.
If we
Erin
could say
Guinup.
we would start one right now.
Right? Yeah. No, super inspiring. And make sure you check out her pages. Find her Tacoma Refugee Choir page, like it, share it. Please support them. And thank you for tuning in again to another episode number 41
Yep, 41.
of the Epic Love Radio Show. We are going to be signing off, but we want to thank everybody out there who's listening on Spotify or on iHeartRadio or W4CY.com or checking us out live on Facebook. Keep promoting the positive, and we'll see you next week.
Love you. She's awesome.
Wow, she was like...
So happy that worked. Oh,
It
yeah.
worked.
I was
You did so good, Dee. You got on your feet. You did it.
Thank you, baby Jesus.
Thank you, baby Jesus.
We're still up.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
The world.